Here we are with Overwatch This. I'm Jeff from the Overwatch team.
Hello everyone and welcome to episode 53 of Overwatch This. I'm Matt, joined by Ben.
Hello.
Usual team back together.
Yes,
We've been missing for a week.
We were so missing that the show didn't get made because Matt was dying and is still
still got a little bit
of a
of
corpse.
that.
But, you know, we mostly brought him back, and I was on holiday.
Yeah, well, heroes never die, right? So
No, which is why we're
here
back.
we are. And
Speaking of which,
yes.
Sagged.
Oh
Unless he's
dear.
nerfed.
Yeah, she's been nerfed. It's been nerfed, but it's all right for healers because Anna's
being
getting a
buffed.
buff, and like that is pretty much the simplicity of it, isn't it?
Yeah, that's basically what they're trying to do. So that's over on the PTR, and we won't dwell on it too much because we want to do a big kind of Blizzcon preview thing. But yeah, they're making Mercy's Resurrect feel less like an ultimate by giving it like it slows you down when you're using it, and it has a cast time, and it can be interrupted and all this other stuff. But then when she uses her ultimate, the cast time goes away, which means it can't be interrupted, and it means she isn't slow when she's using it and that sort of thing. I'm sure they'll like continue to play with that. Anna's damage on literally just her gun is going up by 10, which should make her a bit more have a bit more of a unique place because obviously Mercy will be brought down. And Anna's being brought up, which obviously helps in general with them both being kind of pure healers, but also it means that Anna can be more of an offensive support. And obviously, she has a pretty long range.
Oh yeah.
She has like a lot of different tools to help in different scenarios that Mercy might not be useful in. And obviously, what the point they want to get to is where both characters are usable in different scenarios, rather than Mercy kind of just being a 100% pick rate type deal. Kaplan also went on a posting spree while all this was going on over on the forums last night. Yes, he has. Yeah, more than usual, in fact. He just kind of took to one thread and then a bunch of people replied to him, rather than what usually happens where he then doesn't show up on the forums again because he has meetings and such to go to, no doubt. He replied to a bunch of different stuff and kind of talked about some things. We've got news on that over on the website, but yeah, it's fairly interesting stuff.
But Ben, what about the big show?
Big show.
The big show.
WWE's the big show. No. Blizzcon.
So, over the past few weeks, we've been doing Ben Check, Ben Watch. It's gone through several iterations.
Yeah,
but the whole point is that several weeks ago you predicted what we'd be seeing over the weeks leading up to BlizzCon. Pretty much most of the time you've been fairly bang on.
I did okay, but they basically announced more than I thought they were going to. And some of the patch timing was a bit weird just because of the Halloween stuff. But yeah, I did okay.
But as you were saying, they've sort of ruined it for you for your last weeks because the stuff that you thought we'd be getting at BlizzCon has already come to pass, right?
Yeah.
So what are we going to see?
So they've already announced the Blizzard social stuff, which I thought maybe would be like a large part of the BlizzCon show. And they do still have a panel, and nobody really knows what that's going to be about because they already implemented all the groups and stuff shortly before Destiny 2 came out, and then Destiny 2 doesn't use any of it anyway, but whatever. The Overwatch League stuff, like a lot of the teams have been announced, and I expect that will also, we'll see the final teams be announced at the show. A little bit more on that in a second. The spectator changes, which we all knew were coming, and that I was predicting would be shown at the show, and that's what they'd have in place of a new hero or that sort of thing. Will be like a very large change to that. They've announced what they're going to be. Kaplan did a big video on it a week or so back, but they haven't actually shown what they are, and they said they're going to show it at the show, but like they've already announced it, so it's no longer like a big blowout type deal, right? And then balance changes. Mercy and Anna are already on the PTR. There's other stuff that they've talked about being discussed. That would never have been like a big blowout moment anyway, but that is stuff that they could have saved for BlizzCon because they know there's going to be a lot of attention on it there. But they just kind of put it up on the PTR in the last 24 hours, and it will stay on the PTR until whatever is added at BlizzCon is put on there. So kind of outside of a new hero, the only thing that's left to announce is some sort of maybe total overhaul to competitive play, because that is a problem that the game has had for a while. A lot of people are getting very tired of competitive mode. There's no like low priority queue, which is something that other games have, where people who are poorly behaved, like if they want to not be poorly behaved, they need to play a number of games with other players who are assholes, basically, to get out of that. And it's a very effective way to stop people from being dicks, because you don't want to end up in that low priority queue because it really, really sucks. So there could be something like that. And there's also the anti-toxicity stuff they've been working on and other systems that would need to that need large upgrades and would be something that they could highlight. But all of that still doesn't really work for an opening ceremony announcement. So the way it works at BlizzCon is you have the opening ceremony, and each game that has something big to say will have a big kind of blowout trailer or something in the opening ceremony. We saw the Sombra trailer. It was where Overwatch was initially announced. was the very end of the opening ceremony during all of that stuff going on. It's where they showed the 3 new heroes when they were doing in the middle of development. They showed D.Va, Genji, and Mei at that time. So that's what we've seen from Overwatch in the past. We also we'll see the new WoW expansion, that sort of thing. But none of that really works in that context. So unless it's a new hero, which is very possible, and honestly I think it looks very likely now, because there just isn't a lot else to say.
Yeah, well, I mean, the other thing it might be is that this opening ceremony is just entirely taken up by a World of Warcraft expansion.
Yeah.
And Overwatch gets sidelined, which is going to make me very upset, because I'm going to be up at God knows what time in the morning UK time.
To write about World of Warcraft. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, is that it is a World of Warcraft show, and we're going to have another video with myself pretty much explaining everything we're expecting for the other games at BlizzCon. We know there's going to be like a World of Warcraft expansion or some sort of very large addition to the game that's going to be announced, and it is sort of a World of Warcraft show. And if you look back, you can generally kind of see, oh, okay, this was a StarCraft show, this was a Diablo show, this was a World of Warcraft show. Usually they were World of Warcraft shows because that's how the whole thing, kicked off anyway. So it's possible that Overwatch, won't even have a slot in the opening ceremony. But that would be very strange because, it is, despite all the, naysaying and doomsaying, it's a very large game.
Yeah, surely it's one of their biggest games, right?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. And, in terms of zeitgeist and interest in it, and the idea of like a new short or something like that, all of that would be stuff that would go into the opening ceremony. So if there is no new hero, I think the opening ceremony will see some sort of animated short, like they'll just be like, here is our new animated short. Yeah. And then also there might be where they put some of the Overwatch League stuff. So interestingly, the Overwatch League, there are still plenty of announcements to do for that. But it's very like kind of specific stuff, like here's how in-game cosmetics are going to work. Here is what some of the team home and away skins look like. Here are the 3 other teams that we haven't yet announced. Basically, I'm expecting them to announce maybe another team tomorrow morning, and then leave 2 more for the actual panel at BlizzCon, where they can bring out the team owners and that sort of thing and be like, here they are, and here's your team. So I can imagine Overwatch League being the focus of the opening ceremony, where maybe there will be something they can kind of bring forward and be like, the Overwatch League is starting, and this is what we're doing, and the first match will be this, or whatever. So yeah, it's either kind of a new hero and a short, or the short plus some Overwatch League stuff I would expect in the opening ceremony. And then probably some surprises, I think. They can't really fill all of the time that they have, because there is an hour-long Overwatch panel, even besides all of this, even if there isn't a big blowout new hero type thing, they do need to fill an hour with new content.
Sure, yeah.
So maybe new maps, maybe new modes. They've already said that we were getting like X new maps this year, and they've said some of the skins we were getting, and they haven't mentioned new modes, and we've already had all of that. So anything they announce here, I can imagine maybe not actually coming to the game until January. Yeah. But it would still be something where they could go, here's what we're working on right now. There could also just be quite an in-depth panel where they go, we're worried about this ability on this character. We're talking a lot about how to change this character, and maybe they announce lots of small changes that then make it onto the PTR afterwards.
And as we've seen, especially over the last few months, like changes to characters, people are invested in these characters. Yeah. So a change to like Mercy's changes they're almost as big as a new character to a degree, right? Yeah,
particularly for the community. And those panels are like, as you get deeper into the show, like once you leave the opening ceremony, particularly because the opening ceremony is free to watch, and then everything else you do need to pay to watch, and therefore they can go a little more in depth because they know that the people they're talking to are an invested community, and it isn't that cheap. Like it's like 25 quid, I think it's like $30, something like that. So people who buy that are definitely very invested in the game and very invested in their fandom of whatever game it is that they're watching for. So yeah, the panels could be very, very in-depth stuff where they're like, we're going to change this one skill, and they could talk about that for like 5 minutes, and that would be good content for that. So I'd expect some surprises. I wouldn't expect like huge surprises, like massive new features or something, but I would expect there to be lots of kind of maybe small surprises, and then some kind of big headliner that is along the lines of a new hero or something like that.
So that is what we know of BlizzCon for Overwatch. Pretty much that it's actually a mystery. Yeah. With everything we thought was going to happen probably isn't going to happen. So therefore, great. I'm super excited. It's Christmas, isn't it? We've always said it's the most wonderful time of the year.
Absolutely.
It's definitely Christmas. Hopefully you guys are looking forward to BlizzCon as well. Keep it locked to PCGamesN. We're going to have a load because Ben is going to be there.
Yes,
I'm very jealous of you, Ben.
We won't have a ton of video stuff, although we'll have some stuff when I get back, but there will be loads of stuff over on the website itself, previews of all the new content, loads of World of Warcraft stuff, of course, but plenty of Overwatch as well.
But until next time, please do like, subscribe, good luck, and have fun.